Just before every podcast, we have this little ritual where Ryan comes out on the patio and blows bubbles.
Bubbles wasn't out here today, so I picked up these.
So everyone, hey, listen up. Today, we're going to record a podcast about fear, which will be out next week, and so you can check that out. But more important, that'll be out for like Halloween. It's like the perfect time to do the fear podcast. It's the spookiest time.
It's
of
not
year.
the most Spooktober thing ever, but it's appropriate.
Did you hear that the ice cream shop, Salt and Straw? You're familiar with Salt and
Yes.
Straw? They have Dracula's blood ice or whatever, Dracula's ice cream, and they make it with coagulated pig's blood.
That place is so interesting.
Yeah.
It's so interesting, man. It's funny. They've got the most vegan ice creams I've ever seen. I'm not vegan, but
They only had. I went there this weekend. They had only two.
Vegan seems to be like when something is vegan and it's dessert, it's usually really, really tasty.
Because it's like
There's like so much sugar in it. So like the Salt and Straw, their vegan ice cream, it is my favorite ice cream I've ever had. Like not only is it like my favorite vegan ice cream I've ever had,
Yeah.
but out of all the ice cream I've ever tasted, like it's one of my favorites, man. Yeah, it's a good place. Coagulated pig's blood.
Yeah.
Why didn't we think of that?
Because it's well, the other one they have is like dead bugs right now, like chocolate covered crickets or whatever. Because it's it's supposed to be like Halloween. Podcast Sean's over there making bad faces.
Sounds delicious.
I wish Jessica was here because she would. She's braver than all of us.
Yeah.
And our
I would try 'em.
social media manager, Jess. I don't know if she would eat them because she can't eat anything.
Yeah, I would
She's
try.
like me.
Well, you can go in there and you can try bites and stuff. I would go in there and get a couple samples.
Yeah. You can definitely go get samples. I can't do anything with dairy anymore, man.
Yeah.
Dairy is done for me. But today is Ryan Nicodemus's 37th birthday.
Man,
Everyone, wish him a happy birthday.
you know, it's funny. I was just telling Josh and Jordan and Sean this. Like, I'm not as excited about my birthday as other people are excited about my birthday, and I feel really bad about that. I don't. Thank you for all the birthday wishes. Thank you.
Ryan feels like he should have gotten you
just-
a gift for his birthday.
Yeah, exactly. It's just it's another day. Well, you know, it's funny. I was talking to Jillian yesterday. Jillian and Nathaniel, they've got a group called the Bergamot. They've got a great.
It's a band.
Yeah, it's a band. They got a great song called "Forget About Tomorrow." Like, totally look it up. I know I've recommended it on the podcast, or we've like played a little bit of them on the podcast before. But anyway, they were out here in LA last night, and she was like, "Oh, it's your birthday tomorrow," and I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "You know, you need to go around and like tell everyone it's your birthday everywhere you go, and you'll get a bunch of free stuff." And I'm like, I don't want a bunch of free stuff. Like, I mean, she was talking about like coffee and like stuff that I would actually take.
Right.
But it's like what she's told me is your birthday it's the day where you can get away with anything, practically anything. Like you can use that as leverage. And I got to be honest, like I can't handle that type of power. I would be way too irresponsible with it. I just showed up like an hour late today. I'd be like, "That's my birthday."
Yeah, and I wouldn't have been here anymore.
Right, exactly.
But it is your birthday, and if someone wants to get you a gift, what kind of necktie do you want, Ryan?
Oh man, it's not much as a necktie as a necktie clip, because I don't have any neckties.
What about a clip-on necktie?
Oh my god. No, you know what? Because people do celebrate birthdays, and I totally support that. And if you want to support my birthday, that really does mean a lot to me. And I do want to give you an opportunity. I want to give everyone an opportunity to get me something for my birthday. So if you do want to get me something for my birthday, you can donate to the food co-op that Josh and I are trying to build. You can go to the website, theminimalists.com. There's an essay right there with all the details where you can click and donate and all that stuff. And if you can't donate $1, that's okay. Like, no hard feelings. Maybe you could just like tweet it out or share it on social media or something, because we're trying to get to $100,000. Where are we at right now? $1 million?
We're just we're $950,000 shy of $1 million.
Okay, so
we're not trying to get to $1 million, so it's okay.
Yeah, so we're about halfway there to 100,000. And I think we can get there if we push really hard. So yeah, if you want to buy me a birthday present, help me build this food co-op in Dayton, Ohio. It is the largest food desert in the country.
Second, and it's the second hungriest city for families in the
Yeah,
country.
it's incredible. Like, you go to the west side of Dayton, and you can get, fast food. You can go to a 7-Eleven, but there is no grocery store. Not one grocery store. How many thousands of people live on the west side?
So think about this. Dayton is the 63rd or 62nd largest city in the country, right? 40% of the city's population lives on the west side of Dayton.
Okay.
And on the west side of Dayton, there is not a single grocery store.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. So how many people on the west side of Dayton?
It is an actual food desert.
How many people live there?
Probably close to 100,000 people.
Yeah. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. So, yeah. Help us out. It'd be great to get there. What else we got, Josh, before we end this behind the scenes with Joshua Fields Milburn and Ryan Nicodemus, featuring Joshua Fields Milburn and Ryan Nicodemus?
You know what, man?
From the Minimalists.
I was going to talk about this on the podcast, but maybe this is since we're talking about fear, this doesn't really align. Maybe we'll just talk about it here, and then we can allude to it on the podcast. Last night, I was talking to Ella, so she's encountered her first bully at school.
Oh.
Yeah, and his name is Sage. It's a
Aww.
boy, and he comes up and hits her every day.
It's because he likes her.
That's what I was trying to explain. It's most likely because he likes her. And she's like, but he calls me sour face.
Oh.
And
it's because he likes her.
Yeah, I'm like, Ella, you remember when you were younger and you didn't have the same number of words that you had? You had fewer words to communicate what you were trying to communicate. She's like, yeah. So it sounds to me like Sage doesn't have the same number of words. And so the only way he knows how to communicate is to be mean, and he's being mean because that's the way that he's trying to communicate that he likes you. The problem is that Bex and I have radically different parenting advice on this front, and I think it's because we both grew up really differently. And she asked me, she's like, what am I supposed to do if he hits me? I'm like, well, you hit him back, of course.
You lay that kid out. Aim for the chin.
Kick
right there.
his ass, Ella. And Bex is like, no. And I'm like, what do you mean no? Of course that's what you do. And she's like, no, you have to go tell a teacher. I'm like, Ella, do not listen to that. Do not go tell a teacher.
God.
No one likes a snitch.
Because snitches get stitches.
Yeah. And what I realized is I ultimately had the default to, I think Bex and I eventually came to some middle ground that was much closer to Bex's level of sanity. But ultimately trying to communicate with this kid who's bullying her, because he likely is bullying her because he likes her, or he feels uncomfortable with expressing that. And so we tried to equip her with the language that she needs to better communicate with this boy, and not just hit him back.
Yeah.
I think retaliating with punches is probably not the best immediate result. Also, she needs to explain to him that boys hitting girls, there's a real problem with that, and I don't want to normalize that either. And so she needs to communicate to him, find a way to communicate to him.
What about talking to his parents?
Well, that's what I said. I said I want to talk to his fucking father. But hey,
you want to fuck his father? What?
No. I want to hold him down and shake him a little bit. But no, hey, if your boy is hitting my daughter, I have a serious problem with that. Right?
Yeah.
And so I do ultimately want to talk to his father.
Yeah, or maybe he's just got a mom at home. It's funny when I think of kids in school who were the bullies. They had horrible home lives, and I'm not trying to
name one from our childhood.
A broad sweeping. I don't know, man.
Who's the kid that Patro used to get into a fight with?
I don't want to name names. I don't want to name names. But long story short, I'm not trying to make a broad sweeping statement, but going and talking to those parents, if you go into that conversation charged, you're probably going to get into a fight.
Right.
So, because the kid is a representation, is a symptom. It's not the problem. It is a symptom of something much larger that is going on with that kid. So, good luck. Bring some brass knuckles with you, I guess. You can talk to him.
I'm going to bring Ryan. He'll bring his brass knuckles.
Yeah, whatever, dude.
All right, y'all. We'll tune in next week. We're going to record this podcast right now about fear. We will see you soon.
See you later.
Happy birthday, Ryan.
Aww.